From Europe's worst recycler to global leader, Romania's bold deposit system turns waste into value. In the quiet Transylvanian village of Pianu de Jos, 51-year-old Dana Chitucescu sets off each week carrying a bulging sack filled with empty bottles, cans, and glass containers. It's not just a cleanup routine. It's part of a nationwide transformation that's redefining how a country of 19 million people thinks about waste. Every week, Dana drops off her collection at the local shop and earns around 40 RON by returning her own bottles plus a neighbor's. That's enough to feed her 7 cats, she jokes. Everyone does it, she adds. There's always a line at the shop. This simple act symbolizes one of the most ambitious environmental shifts in Europe. Romania's Deposit Return Scheme, DRS, launched just 2 years ago, has grown into the largest integrated system of its kind anywhere in the world, a staggering achievement for a country once ranked dead last in recycling across the EU. But here's what's truly surprising. The revolution started not with technology, but with trust in everyday people. The principle is straightforward. When customers buy a drink, they pay an extra 0.50 RON, about 9 pence, per container. That small deposit is fully refunded when the bottle or can is returned, clean and intact, to any participating shop. This closed-loop approach has already skyrocketed beverage packaging recovery to an astounding 94%, a number most nations can only dream of. Gemma Webb, CEO of Rituaro, the company managing the program under a public-private partnership, calls it a zero-to-hero story. She points out that the collected materials are exceptionally clean, easily recyclable, and fully traceable across the supply chain. We can track every single bottle that ever enters the market, she notes. Since its official start in November 2023, Romanians have returned about 7.5 billion containers, roughly 4 billion PET bottles, 2 billion aluminum cans, and 1.5 billion glass bottles. That equals over 500,000 tons of premium recyclable materials, cementing Romania's position as home to the world's largest fully integrated return network. Quite the leap for a nation once mocked for filling landfills faster than recycling plants. Before this transformation, Romania repeatedly occupied the EU's recycling basement. Between 2011 and 2021, its municipal waste recycling stagnated between 11% and 14%, while neighboring countries raced ahead. In 2021, only 1% of Romania's materials were recirculated into the economy, the lowest figure on the continent. Few could have predicted such a dramatic turnaround. The shift began in 2018 when the government began exploring the DRS model. Construction of 9 counting and sorting centers started in 2022, and by late 2023, the system went live on an incredibly compressed timeline. Now we have one of the largest logistics networks in the country, says Webb, proud but pragmatic. Interestingly, Romania's late start may have been a blessing in disguise. Raul Pop, Secretary of State in the Environment Ministry, argues that entering the game later allowed the system to be built using the most modern digital tools, real-time data tracking, smart logistics software, and transparent reporting. Other countries, he suggests, are weighed down by outdated infrastructure and consumer habits that resist change. Under the return-to-retail model, every shop selling drinks must also accept returns, either through reverse vending machines or manual collection. Retailers receive compensation to cover their costs, while Rituaro reinvests profits into maintaining and expanding operations. To ensure social buy-in, a massive advertising campaign featured Ora, PPLX, //action/translate, the Romanian circle dance, highlighting cooperation and shared responsibility for environmental stewardship. The results speak loudly. 90% of Romanians report using the system at least once, and 60% participate regularly. Romania's success is now turning heads abroad. Officials and industry experts from Poland, Turkey, Bulgaria, Moldova, and Serbia have visited to study its model, eager to adapt its principles for their own markets. It's a rare case of Romania becoming the classroom rather than the student in EU environmental policy. To ensure fairness, laws require every retailer, from hypermarkets to the tiniest village kiosks, to accept returns if they sell beverages. Non-compliance invites fines. The rules may be strict, but they've leveled the playing field and prevented loopholes that undermine credibility. And this is the part most people miss. Romania's success, though spectacular, still tackles only a small share of its waste problem. Beverage packaging makes up about 5% of the country's total waste. Even if every single bottle were returned, Romania's national recycling rate, a modest 12% in 2024, would climb only slightly. That's why many environmentalists are calling for the next phase: reuse. According to Elena Rasti of Zero Waste Romania, recycling alone isn't enough. Collection handles the visible problem, she says, but reuse changes everything. A single refillable bottle can replace 20 to 50 disposables and drastically cut carbon emissions, turning a disposable item into a renewable resource. Could reuse be the real key to a truly circular economy? For now, Rituaro and government officials are cautious. Webb insists the program is still too young for major expansions. We need the same research and collaboration that made beverage recycling work before we move on to new materials. Plans are being considered to include vinegar bottles, jars, and milk cartons next, but flexible plastics like crisp packets or shampoo bottles will have to wait. Environmental NGOs acknowledge the limits, but remain supportive. It's the biggest environmental success Romania has ever had, says Alexandra Tituanu of Ecotica. We all love it. But let's be honest, it doesn't solve everything. Back in Pianu de Jos, the impact feels tangible. When rainstorms hit, the village streams run clear. The littered roadsides of years past are gone. Dana notices that what used to be an eyesore has become a small source of pride and a bit of pocket money. Even her brother in Spain envies the progress. They don't have anything like this, she says with a smile. He's jealous, and he should be. It's one of the best things Romania has done for its people and for the planet. And now the question for readers: should every country adopt a system like Romania's? Or does real sustainability demand going beyond recycling to a culture built on reuse? What do you think?